Have you ever been at a point in your life where everything looked fine? Not broken, not chaotic, not falling apart, but fine. Bills were paid, responsibilities were handled, and the people around you, they would have said, hey, you're doing the right thing. But what they didn't see was inside there was a quiet tension that you couldn't shake. Not stress, and no, it wasn't anxiety or disappointment. The tension wasn't in life, but it was on the inside of you. I've been there. And for me, the tension came because I wasn't living at my edge. No one stopped me, no one held me back, no one shut a door. But me, I chose to do something that was much more dangerous. I adjusted. I downsized my expectations and I softened my vision. I explained away the hunger and I justified it with wise words. Words like, let's be realistic. And the funny thing is, the phrase didn't come with fear, it actually came with applause. Hey, Aaron's being realistic. It was praised as intelligence, it was rewarded as humility. They slapped a wisdom frame on it. But what I didn't realize at that time is being realistic is often fear wearing a suit. It's fear that has learned to speak intelligently. It's fear that has learned how to sound responsible. It's fear that learned how to blend in. And if we're honest today, most of you watching this on YouTube, you aren't stuck because you lack talent. You aren't behind because you lack discipline. You aren't limited because opportunities have skipped over you. But you're stuck because you've become reasonable. Reasonable with your goals, reasonable with your expectations, reasonable with what you think is possible for someone like you. And that reasonableness has quietly become a ceiling. Not a ceiling placed on you by life, a ceiling that you accepted without ever questioning, hey, who put this here? This is part 1 of our Unreasonable Faith series. I'm glad you're here because today we're going to expose that ceiling. Because the truth is, if you don't aim higher than reason allows, you'll never live higher than your environment permits. This is going to be a good one. Let's tell the truth. Nobody wakes up and says, okay, today I hope to stay small. No one dreams of mediocrity. No one desires unrealized potential. No one sets out to waste the gifts that they've been given. Yet that's exactly where many land, not because they failed, but because they adjusted. Somewhere along the way, we learn to edit our dreams so that they feel safer. Somewhere along the way, we stop asking, hey, what do I actually want? And start asking what makes sense, what's practical, and hey, what won't disappoint anyone else? And the thing is, you didn't abandon your dream in one moment. There's a chance that some of it is still there, but you've diluted it slowly. And here's how it actually happens. You hear outside voices and sometimes your own say things like, that's not realistic. You should have a backup plan. People like us don't do things like that. Be grateful for what you have. And as mentioned, at first, those voices come from the outside. Parents, teachers, friends, culture. But eventually, they move inside. And now it's not society limiting you, it's you limiting you. And before you know it, you stop dreaming in possibilities and start dreaming in permissions. You don't ask what would stretch you. You ask what you can justify. And that small shift is subtle, but it's deadly. Because the moment you filter your future through reason alone, you eliminate the very faith that is required to change your life. And the cost isn't just a missed opportunity. The cost is something far more painful. It's the quiet resentment you feel when you see someone else succeeding because they took the risk that you were too afraid to take. It's the numbness that comes from knowing that you're capable of more, but you're choosing comfort instead. It's waking up one day and realizing your life feels stable, but strangely small. And the thing is, we've been sold a lie. And that lie is that aiming high is dangerous. Aiming high leads to disappointment. Aiming high sets you up for failure. But if we're honest, most people don't fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. They get the job, they get the relationship, they get the lifestyle they once prayed for, and then something terrifying happens. They realize this is it. And here's the part that no one warns you about. Come on in close, I'll whisper it to you. Small goals require the same sacrifice as big goals. They require the same discipline. They require the same discomfort. They might require the same late nights. They might even require the same emotional cost. But they deliver a fraction of the fulfillment. Though aim doesn't protect you from pain, it just guarantees regret. And nothing hurts more than realizing you've spent years climbing a ladder only to discover it was leaning against the wrong wall. So let me ask you, where in your life did you stop expanding your vision because people clapped too early? What did you settle for that once felt like success, but now it feels like stagnation? There's this trend that started a couple years ago where people are saying, be delusional. People start talking about all the benefits, everything that they received when they became delusional. But the funny thing is, it ain't delusional, it's faith. And every person operates by faith, even the most logical person you know. The difference isn't whether you believe something, it's what kind of belief do you operate from. Reason says, I'll believe it when I see it. I'll commit when it makes sense. I'll move once the odds improve. And it always waits for the confirmation. And reason produces reasonable results, predictable outcomes, safe paths, lives that look impressive on paper but feel empty in private. But unreasonable faith sounds different. Unreasonable faith says, faith is the evidence. And considering faith is my evidence, I'll act before I feel ready. And considering faith is my evidence, I'll move as if it's possible even when logic disagrees. Unreasonable faith doesn't wait for permission. It moves first. And yes, it looks delusional at the beginning. Every breakthrough does. It's all delulu until it happens. I'm reminded of the story of the 4-minute mile. For decades, experts believed that the human body could not run a mile under 4 minutes. Doctors said it was dangerous. Scientists said it was impossible. Coaches even said that the body would break. And for decades, runners believed them. Roger Bannister decided not to. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't even the most decorated. He believed something different. And when he broke the 4-minute mile, the world didn't collapse. The body didn't fail. Instead, within a year, multiple runners broke the same barrier. Why? Because the limit was never physical. It was mental. And the moment belief shifted, performance improved. So what 4-minute mile have you accepted as impossible in your life simply because no one around you has ever done it before? What about the Wright brothers? Same pattern, different era. The Wright brothers weren't the most educated. They weren't the most funded. They weren't taken seriously at all. While others argued why flight couldn't happen, they believed it must be possible. Here come the mockers, here comes dismissal, and here comes being ignored, brushed off. But they understood something that most people never do. Consensus is not truth. Bold belief always looks reckless until it works. And then it gets rewritten as destiny. The same haters that said you can't fly were probably the first ones on a new plane. And here's the core truth that you must internalize. Belief always precedes behavior, and behavior always precedes results. You do not rise to new actions until you rise to new beliefs, which means that if your life hasn't expanded, your belief system hasn't either. You may have added habits, consumed content, gathered information, but if your self-concept stays the same, your outcomes will too. Because belief doesn't just affect what you try, it affects what you tolerate. It affects what you walk away from. It affects what you pursue consistently. It affects what you stop apologizing for wanting. And many are living a life beneath their capacity, not because they lack ability, but because you accepted a ceiling that you never chose. Let's slow this down. If you're honest, you already know your goals are too small. You felt it. And I felt this the other day. I had a goal in mind and the thought hit me, hey, if that goal doesn't require God, it's too small. Whenever we do small goals, we feel it. That quiet dissatisfaction, that sense that we're playing safe, the awareness that we're capable of more, but we're afraid of looking foolish while trying. You start to feel that, know that that's not ego. Feeling that you should be asking for more and pursuing more. It's not ego, it's alignment. Because we weren't designed for comfort. We were designed for expansion. And extraordinary lives don't come from defensive belief. They come from offensive faith. Faith that moves first. Faith that acts before certainty. Faith that dares to look delusional temporarily. So here's your challenge. I don't challenge you to set new goals yet. I'm not going to challenge you to hype yourself up. But I challenge you to identify the ceiling belief that has quietly dictated your life. A belief that says, hey, this is as far as I go. This is what's realistic for me. I should be grateful and just stop wanting more. Write it down, figure it out, and write down a reframe of that very belief. Because until you confront that belief, every dream you set will stay beneath it. In part 2, we're going to talk about what happens when you act on unreasonable faith. How it rewires your identity, how it shapes your habits, and changes the very belief of what is possible. But for now, I leave you with this truth. You don't need more ability. You don't need more permission. You don't need more proof. You need to change your belief system. And it starts by aiming higher than reason allows. If you enjoyed that video, throw in the comments. It's not delusion, it's faith. And always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you. I'll see you on the next one.